Hey guys, TK1138 here, and we are now just 1 month away from Endwar, so now is the perfect time to put out my 2018 HvZ Endwar gear loadout video. Stay tuned.
Player, I am loading the equipment overview.
So my 2017 HvZ Endwar video was by far my most viewed video on this channel, racking up nearly 10,000 views in the last year. I really appreciate all of you checking that one out. It's always cool to see that it keeps getting more and more views, and let's hope that this one is also going to be another one. That said, it is going to be a long video because I have a lot of gear and a lot of things I learned from HvZ Endwar last year that is going to translate over to this year, both in terms of things I'm bringing this year that I didn't last year and things you really don't need to bring or should not bring to Endwar. So of course we are going to start at the basics, and that is your clothes. Now, I know I wear a lot of black. I Nerf in the Southeast, Nerf Club guys. Southeast United States is really hot in the summer, but I still wear black. But that's because I know how to layer properly and hydrate. That said, Endwar is going to be hot. Athens is hot this time of year, and it's going to be even hotter in June. So a nice breathing t-shirt, certainly a good option. I've seen a lot of guys, I know one guy last year was like in a balaclava and like long sleeve shirts and all that. I don't know how he didn't die, but he didn't, so good on him. But that's not for me. So I'm going to be wearing, of course, my t-shirt, a nice hat, and some safety glasses. Now these are tinted safety glasses that were provided by Project FDL, and these are my favorite glasses, so I'll be rocking those this year. But other than that, t-shirt that is nice and breathing, certainly a good option. As any of your girlfriends, wives, sisters, or mothers will tell you, that the top is only half the outfit. So of course we've got to cover below the waist. So of course I've got a good set of pants, nice elastic material so they don't tear while I'm running or if I'm sliding. I've got some good outdoor running shoes. Now for those of you who play in parks, running on concrete is very different than running in pine straw or grass. So nice, good, squishy shoes that won't be hell on your feet are important. By the end of day 2, guys, my feet were toast last year, so I've definitely upgraded the amount of material I've got in there. I've also got these cool gaiters that I really like nerfing in because they help keep my pants to my shoes. If I'm sliding, I don't get stuff in there, and it makes sure nothing is flapping around nicely. Plus, I also like the aesthetic look of it. I know a lot of guys try to run around on concrete in combat boots, and unless you have very, very, very well broken in boots, do not bring them to Endwar. I'm serious. Good soled shoes, good traction, that's going to be key, but unless you've got really comfortable boots, don't bring them no matter how cool they look. Other than that, tons of pockets and rooms for storage and some knee pads for safety. Now I'm not an old man, guys. I'm 27. I'll be 28 just before Endwar. So a lot of people kind of give me flack for this, but another really handy thing that you can pick up at like any sort of Walmart or clothing store is a good pair of suspenders. You guys can laugh. Go ahead. But I'll tell you what, if I'm running for my life, my pants aren't going to be falling down. Especially if you got a lot of like stuff on your waist, a lot of belts, drop leg holsters, anything that you're attaching to a belt, it's kind of important, and it's not something most people want to talk about. But seriously, my pants are great and secure. So, now moving on to some of our tactical gear that I'm going to have on my loadout. I have a fan favorite from last year and a completely good standalone piece of gear, and that is my AGP Tech MOLLE adjustable battle belt. This one does come with straps, which if you're using a battle belt with any sort of weight on it, is necessary, not optional in my opinion. Because if you're gonna have a canteen or dump pouches or magazines or anything on your belt, you wanna make sure it doesn't go anywhere. So this one has that second set. Some of them you'll find won't have it, and you can buy an additional like H harness or something. Now this AGP Tech, last I checked, was not in stock. However, I did find a comparable one from Condor, and I'll post a link as well as links to all this other gear down below. Now this time I have gone with a slightly lighter loadout. I didn't use half the mags I brought last year. So instead of having those Kangaroo triple Condor mags on the front, I've ended up ditching those and moving my dump pouches around. Now these are the Vism folding mag pouches I've reviewed and were on the loadout video of last year. They're just in a different configuration. So I've got my primary one here, which has my Freistadt Bayern patch. This is probably where I'm going to keep like spare darts. I want to top off my mags, maybe sock bombs that aren't in my gear, stuff like that. And I've got a second one folded up on the, well, not folded up now, but it's on the back for putting dead mags or any sorts of gear that I'm ditching. Maybe if I find a really cool rock and I want to take it home for later, you know, whatever. You can fill it with snacks. You really could. Speaking of snacks, I do have my 2 little pouches here. This one I'm carrying my spare LiPo, my spare GoPro batteries are going to be in there so I can swap them out quickly. And then this patch literally is snacks. I'm not kidding, guys. Last year, you'd think this name Snack Squad came from just because we liked snacks. No, we were hungry. So instead of keeping all my snacks on my backpack, I'm going to have a couple of snacks laying around, for, if I got a second to eat. So, anyway, moving on. Right. Now for our second piece of tactical gear is another one you guys will remember from last year, and that is the HvZ chest rig. Now this one is of course a very cheap, very simple option. It MSRPs for like 20 bucks, and I have yet to find one that's more expensive than that from a direct seller. Now, I've been running this thing for about 2 years now, and it's still holding together, and I nerf hard, guys. I slide, I run, I jump, I shove mags in there, and it's still holding together. Now, I've seen a lot of really cool chest rigs that I'm a little envious of. My man Ray Devine has one that is just like super cool. It's got like a frozen ice pack thing on the back for like drinking. It's awesome, and I'm going to try it out, but right now is not the time to try out new gear. Unless it's my gear, and you can try that out if you want. But for real, now is the time to like really lock in all of your settings, your blasters, your gear, making sure everything's exactly the way you want it. So anyway, like last year, this is going to be holding my 6 chest mags. I am going to be using, of course, my quintessential 18s that I have painted and logoed. And then on the side pouches here, more snacks, probably, but also a couple of packs of folded up darts so when I'm back to the staging area, I can reload. And it's just a good thing to have because otherwise you got to go pick up your darts. Now the way dart handling is done at Endwar is the zombies pick up darts as they're walking or as they're going along, and then once we all get back to the staging area after a mission, we dump them all back together, and so you can come up and get your darts. I don't want to worry about that, so I'm bringing a ton of darts. Not as many as last year, but still bringing about 800 darts for this year, and that's me planning to share out to a whole bunch of people. Now the last piece of chest or back mounted tactical gear I'm going to go over is again my hydro pack. Now this one is a 2.5 liter which will let me have plenty of fluids for the hot Athens summer, and it's the same one from last year again. I'm going to be having 4 mags on the back for loners, for other humans or teammates. I do have my super cool Foam Dart Thunder stickers which I'm excited about repping, and then my top pouch is going to be filled with snacks, my first aid kits, gloves, first responder stuff, and then tons more darts stored down in here for the same reason as I got some here and here, and that's for reloading later. Now to some of you this might look like a whole bunch up here, and it kind of actually is, but it's still lighter than last year where I had another 6 mags along the front. The pictures from Endwar were really cool, but I can't help but thinking I look like a piñata. Now the other thing is, since I didn't use all that ammo, I'm not bringing it back this year, because one thing it did do was affect my turning mobility and how tight I could bring my arms in, which in a thing like HvZ, you want to have really fast responses, fast turning, and that was getting to be a problem. So I've ditched them this year and gone for a lighter load. Another solid piece of my gear, whether I'm playing in SCNC, Atomic Dart League, or for Endwar, is a good pair of gloves. Again, same gloves from last year. These are my Cybertron half-finger tactical gloves, and these were okay as a human, but as a zombie, they were a lifesaver, and I highly recommend bringing them because I'm going to have knee and elbow pads and my gloves, because when I was sliding, jumping, climbing, jumping through bushes, gloves were super helpful, and I definitely recommend you bring them. Now, one piece of gear I've really phased out this year is the Condor Kangaroo 3-mag holder. It did array them in a wider format that's only 1 deep and took up a lot of surface area. Now, I'm a very tall guy, but I'm pretty skinny, so I don't have much lateral surface area to spare. And for the same reasons why I said I ditched them on my battle belt, I wanted a little bit more room. I also got rid of them on my drop leg holster, and I've replaced them with the Condor 4-mag holder. Now this one is modified by me. I'll do a review on how I managed to modify it, but I can give you a quick TLDR. So I do of course have my cool patches on there from Foam Dart Thunder and Project FDL, which I'm super happy to represent. And the other thing I've added that really makes this a lot easier to load and unload is it's got little cardboard spacers down in here. So that allows me to put my mags in and out significantly quicker. On my right leg, I'm going to be rocking my Apex Tactical drop leg strife holster. Once again, really remains unchanged. I've just moved 2 of my pouches off of it. It's going to be about the same. Now, a lot of people say, well, TK, if you're going to be rocking an FTL, which I will be, why would you also want a strife? Again, the primary reason is cross-compatibility. Now, I will probably be figuring out how to work a hammer shot onto my back, just in case for some reason all my batteries die. But truthfully, if I fire that much, chances are I'm going to die anyway. But anyway, the reason is if I lose my FDL or it goes down, I can still use all of my mags in my Strife. Cross compatibility is important. Last year at Endwar, I saw a lot of guys who had like Boomco, Rival, and Elite style darts all on one loadout, which means if any of their blasters break or they run out of ammo, they still got to lug around a blaster and that ammo can't be used. That's not really what I want to do. The other thing is, guys, I needed my Strife last year. I actually had my FDL sitting up against a chair in the staging area, and someone accidentally knocked it over, and it took a slide down 2 stairs on the trigger plate, or the knob plate, and my FDL was out of commission. Thankfully, I had a primary grade sidearm that I could get back to the car with. So that about covers it for the tactical gear. Now, I've talked about a lot of stuff I think you should bring or that you may want to bring, but I also want to point out the stuff you shouldn't bring or I wouldn't bring. Now, things to not bring to Endwar. Face masks. They don't allow them. The police department is not okay with you wearing a face mask. So if you got a really cool, sweet tactical mask or one of those cool skull masks, don't bring it. You're not going to wear it. And even if you could wear it, it's going to get hot. Don't do that, guys. Number 2, melee weapons. HvZ Endwar is not a melee game. Don't bring them. 3 is really, really bright flashlights. Think rule 0. Don't be a jerk. If you wouldn't want to look at that flashlight at 5 feet in your own eyes, don't shine it at someone else. Or keep it around 500 or less lumens. Now that one I don't think is actually written down, but it's a good thing to do. There's no need for a 2K light in Nerf. There's not, so don't bring it. Other than that, lots of water, spare parts if you think you're going to need them, ammo, magazines, all that, all good stuff to bring. Right, so before I cover the blasters I'm going to be running with this year, the last 2 things I want to discuss about are just my side electronics. Now, of course, other than a smartphone and a camera, which I guess are really the same thing, I'll also be having my 4K GoPro, or it's not really a GoPro, but you know what I mean, 4K action camera, so I'll be able to capture the moment. I've got the extra batteries for that. But the thing that is going to be a big game changer this year, and one I am really, really excited about, is if those of you remember my after action report last year, our big weakness was comms. Now, it was kind of an afterthought. I ended up grabbing a whole bunch of walkie-talkies from work that we weren't using anymore, and it didn't really work out. We turned them off when we need them, and then the battery died. So this year, the SCNC has planned very carefully. So we have ended up purchasing the Baofeng BF888SA. Now what that is a 2-way radio. But we didn't buy 2. We didn't buy 4. We bought 20 of them. So the entire SCNC crew, we've got a giant box of radios that I'm going to be setting up, will be on the same comms. Now the advantage to these is, of course, in-ear piece and little lapel mic right here. The radio is tucked away safely in one of those pouches so it doesn't run out. But otherwise, it's not a terribly big radio. It's also not terribly expensive. We bought 20 of them for about $12 a piece. And the less you buy, the more expensive they get. I think they get up to like $17 each if you only get 2. But BF888SA, that's what we're going to be using. I'll post again those down below. But I know Naptown, I believe, is going to be using them, and a couple other clubs are probably going to be using them, so that way we can all coordinate. Plus, that just looks neat as hell, guys. So, at HvZ Endwar last year, I think we had 7 FDL2 and 2 pluses. This year, Project FDL is expecting there to be like 30 or 40 of the blasters on the field. And not just 2s and 2 pluses, but as well as the 2X, which was released since Endwar last year. And the 2X happens to also be my primary blaster. Now mine's got a lot of extras on it, so it's almost unrecognizable to those of you who aren't super familiar with the platform. I do have my vertical foregrip on the front, the FDL2V extended body and top rail, so I still have my Picatinny sights on top, as well as my orange flash suppressor that I blacked out on the inside so I don't get any IR or UV effect to my IR beam, because there is an IR infrared ammo counter on the side, done in black and white from Nathaniel at Ammo Counter on Etsy. I've done his review not that long ago. You can go check it out. But of course, my flashlight. I stand by it, guys. I stand by the fact that I died in Mission 3 last year because I didn't have my light. The guy who got me, he got me good. I don't know if I ever saw him again. I don't recognize him. I couldn't see him in the video, and I tried. You got me good, dude. If that was you who got me, well done. But I'm trying harder this year. So I've got my light. I've got it on a tension grip right here so I don't have to change it up. And I'm not rocking a stock, because HvZ is a very close-knit game. It's a very close quarter. So I want to have the ability to get really tight and make turns. I want to be able to fire one-handed, and I don't need the extra weight, which is why I've dropped a lot of weight on my gear. So this is the FDL2X. Now, Jesse of Project FDL has had to get really clever to let us use these blasters at HvZ Endwar. Now, HvZ Endwar is a 130 FPS cap game. Now this, I can turn this up to about 175 FPS or down as low as like 75. But that kind of ability to control the settings and everything are difficult for game moderators to accept. And I don't blame them. It's a big trust thing. If you say, yeah, it's 130, but this guy's shooting 170 and then you can just turn it down, yeah. So Project FDL has a really cool idea where he's going to be printing out some new plates that go in the back that set off a specific mode called S-Lock or Speed Lock that'll lock these blasters into a sub 130 FPS and make them all good to go. So, pretty awesome primary and I'm looking forward to running it. Now, a minute ago I talked about I have my Strife drop leg holster. My Strife this year is exact same Strife last year on the outside. I don't really feel like updating a sidearm because I throw it, I drop it, I slide on it, I loan it out to kids. I don't believe I really need to update the shell too terribly much. One of these days. That said, the internals are of course different this year. It has been a big year for flywheel tech. So other than that, I'm on 2S this year instead of 3S. I'm running the Fang revamp from Foam Blast, as well as a 43mm Morpheus cage and Morpheus guide with the Insu Tanto flywheels. So it's really fast, really snappy, and the FPS sits me at about a 127. I'm going to see if I can drop it down just a little bit more. Other than that, integrated voltmeter on the side, and these really cool, I think they're aluminum mag releases from Mike. I think they're really nice. So other than that, it gives me a really reliable sidearm, but does give me the ability to use it as a primary if something happens to my FDL. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the gear and my loadout that I'm going to be using for HvZ Endwar 2018. All in all, very similar to my 2017 loadout with some notable improvements in terms of how much gear I'm carrying, where my mags are, some comms, additional lights, slings, slimming down my blasters a little bit. Other than that, it's going to be a really exciting game this year. I know it's going to be even bigger than last year. The SCNC is going to have about 40 people coming up. It's going to be big, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to put together the videos of the gameplay so you all can see. I want to thank you all for a great year so far and for a great calendar year. The last time I did my loadout video in 2017, we were also doing my 500 subscriber giveaway. I'm at 1,700 a day. 1,200 a year is really big for me because I never expected this to really go very far. So I really appreciate you all sticking around and watching this and watching my HvZ Endwar videos, which I can't wait to start posting on the page soon because I'm on the hype train. Are you? So anyway, if you got any questions about any of the gear or any of your own gear or how I made any of the modifications, feel free to drop it in the comments below, or you can hit me up on Facebook at TK1138Nerf and you can ask whatever questions you got. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video, and I will see you at Endwar.